This episode of Trials and Trebuchets is brought to you by Fanroll Dice. If you're in the market for some new, top-notch dice, and who am I kidding, folks? We're all always on the prowl for some shiny rocks. Then look no further than fanrolldice.com. Whether it's their bewitching liquid cores, a pack of trusty misfit metals, or even a set of oh-so-endearing miniature dice, you'll find anything you're looking for and more at fanrolldice.com. And don't forget to use our code TRIALS10 at checkout for 10% off your order of new little crit machines. Hello everybody, and welcome to episode 226 of Trials and Trebuchets. I am your Dungeon Master, and my name is Luke, and joining me this week, as they always join me, is my players.
Hi, I'm here for week 226. My name is Ben, number 226, and I play the level 12 gnome wizard, Windsor Wallaby, who also has a cuddly little companion, Mr. Wiggles.
It is week 226.
It is. I've just blown your mind.
226 weeks too long. Hi, it's
What
me.
do you mean?
Whoa!
Holy shit.
I would like to retire, this is my official retirement.
Hey y'all, it's me, Carla, and I play the level 12, level 9, rogue, level 3 warlock. It's me, Integrity Idleberry. Hello.
Too many numbers in your head.
Hi, I'm Sarah, and I play Mira Marie Marchand, the level 12 half-elf bard. Angelica Lindman has died. Shiora destroyed her mind. Karina, know that you and I might not like what we find.
This is my favorite jam.
Hi there, my name is Sam, and I played the level 12 human sorceress Serenep Cinderman. Swim club went great. Everything else,
Went great.
A variable level of greatness. Last time, on Trials and Trebuchets, the students analyzed Philip Mazel's every action, as they are experts on body language, and concluded that he's gone all Gollum-y or something. They then learnt to swim from Lucia, and Integrity stuck her foot in the proverbial door with the suspected warlock Bowen Blueblight. In an attempt to get their full research credits and be able to graduate at the end of their time at Wildcliff, the students stumbled across the inky scribbling of Ira Alaro, who claimed to have been taken over by some Isithilian influence and forced her to scribble all over everything and write creepy shit. After cleaning the mess, the group was then ambushed by a furious Karina Lindman, who offered a polite birthday invitation for the 43rd day of summer. And that is where we left off last time in our scenes of the 10 weeks of peace and quiet that these students are having. Less peace and quiet towards the end here. We're going to pick up with a couple quick ones before moving on to better and hopefully better things. First and foremost, shooting straight into it, Windsor Wallaby. A light night at the archives, as we alluded to in the previous episode, researching the possibility of pact breaking.
Yes.
I believe you would find yourself probably in one of the secluded study rooms so that no one really bothers you. You have a whole fat stack of books that you're tearing through. Dusty old tomes and new novellas alike, folklore and nonfiction, trying to get the best read on this thing that you possibly can.
Maybe a little bit of Diane Danger on the right.
Maybe a little Diane Danger.
Because everyone else has been talking about it, and I feel like I should catch up.
I love Windsor getting fucking peer pressured into reading a teen novel, action novel. Windsor Wallaby. It is not super late here, probably about 8:30 at night. You hear a slight crack, 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 a knock at the door behind you to this study room, interrupting your singular focus on this pact-breaking thing. You're on the middle of a breakthrough, and that has been pulled away from you with a simple knock at the door. You can turn, and you see a blue-cloaked golem They have no like big head. It's one of these new crow golems. It has a little sapphire where the head should be like attached to the neck bones, and it is holding a big ol' brown paper parcel in its hands, and it will walk with articulated steps over towards you, place it upon the table, pull out a clipboard from underneath its cloak, and hold it out to you. You can skim through. It's just a contract saying that you, Winsler Wallaby, have received the parcel designated for you. It holds a pen out for you, waiting for your signature.
I'm going to take it, and I'm just going to slowly write my signature while I'm also staring, like with a glare at the golem.
Yes. A little glint goes off the sapphire embedded in its neck, almost like it's like looking at you, or the light just blinks off it in a certain way.
It's winking at
Either
me.
way, it's malevolent.
It's very malevolent.
You sign your name. The golem immediately rushes away. You hear like a sound that doesn't come from like the original golems, which is like a whir, 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 whir of like the joints underneath the cloak as it like walks away with some frenzy. Windsor, this big package is sitting out in front of you. It was fairly heavy, as you can ascertain if you like try to push it or move it around. On the outside, it reads, "To my beloved students, from your mentor."
Oh, artist box.
Would you like to rip and tear into this thing?
Sure, I'll rip and tear into this box, hoping we don't find his disembodied corpse inside.
Oh my god.
Within, there is 4 sub-packages. It's like when your grandparents send you a box of Christmas presents for the year, and they're like wrapped inside of a big moving box.
Of course,
That's
we
a
needed
good
one giant box for all these 4 individual
Within,
boxes.
Yes.
First and foremost, there's a little dark red bound leather book with like the green ghastly writing, which reads "The Camp Daybreak Massacre." You can open it. The ink inside
It
the
took
book
so
is this
long to get here.
blood red ink, and it just kind of like, it's like 40 pages. You can skim it. You can look at the ending, and you're like, shit,
Holy
that's pretty grisly. And you can set it down.
They're gonna put that in the far corner.
There's a note on the inside cover that says, "Please heed the warning," within the subtext here. Artist Artesian written on the inside cover. There is then a small note that is like, I guess the note is not a thing, but because it's attached to one of the other parcels within. But there is a note which in artist's wonderful handwriting you can read, "Greetings, students." And in brackets it says, "Winsler, I sent this directly to you. If you're reading this, it means I'm safely in Pitchtop Waterbottom, en route
He
to my
made
second
it.
research site. I've included in this parcel a piece of artificery I came across from a traveling merchant, which will help our communications mightily. Only turn the dial and speak when the gem blinks to use! Exclamation, exclamation, exclamation. I've also
Okay.
included an artifact for safekeeping. It bears resemblance to a headdress I think I've seen before, but I can't place it. The jade seems notable. Keep it safe."
Okay.
So there is a larger parcel, which you might be able to deduce could be the headpiece that he has sent to you, or this
Likely.
relic. But there's also this small little rectangular box. It might be about 3 inches diameter by like 2 inches diameter. It's like a weird little tchotchke, badly wrapped thing. You
There's
can
no note on this one?
that's what the note was
Oh,
attached
that's what
to.
the note was
Yeah.
for, okay.
You can rip it open. Within you see a little oblong piece of brass. It's like half brass, half ruby. If you think of like the quintessential like pill that's like yellow and red in your head,
Yeah.
it looks like that, but just kind of enlarged. And there's like a little knob on it that looks like a tuner from a radio, if I was to put it, or like a volume knob in your car, or like on a
Okay.
radio. Yeah, that's it. That's it. That is this. This is the little piece of artificery he sent you.
Funny communicator.
Yes. Do you want to turn the knob?
Sure, I'll turn the knob.
Okay, you give it one little turn. It feels nice and like there's a little wound spring in there. It makes like a little clicking, ratcheting noise as you turn it. And when you fully turn it, one rotation, Winslow Wallaby, it blinks, blink, 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 blink. And then a little voice emanates from it that says, in like a crackly radio sound, it goes, "Hello? Is this working?" And then you hear like static and like sand noises. And it says, "Gods, I hope so. It was expensive for the set." It's like kind of muffled, as if it's like far away. And then it gets really loud for no reason, and it goes, "Anyways, leave me a message if anything comes up. I did lose my sending stone somewhere between Peasbees and Site 1. And then there's like, "If anything, for any worries, that's it. Artists signing off." And then there's like a click.
Well,
Mess.
So I guess this is like a weird recording device that sends messages. It's not like a direct communicator thing.
Yeah. As the message ends, the kind of dial goes and unwinds itself, and it no longer is blinking.
Okay.
Would you like to record a message?
Sure, I'll record a message.
Okay, you turn the dial again until the ruby section starts glowing, and then you like hold it up to your mouth.
Hi, this is Winslow Wallaby. Testing 1, 2, 3. I hope you can hear me through whatever this is. I got your message. I got your package clearly because I'm using the doohickey that you sent in the box. I got the note and everything. There's the helmet and stuff. We'll probably end up using it in some way. I don't know how.
And then the dial undoes itself and the message ends.
Oh.
And it stops blinking and you're like, ow.
Oh.
Winslow, you can set that down and peek inside the box. There's one final parcel to unwrap.
I gotta open that one up.
Okay, you reach, and this is like, you pick it up and it's pretty heavy, and you can set it on the table and it goes thunk. It's probably like 10 pounds. You can.
What, did he send a brick?
You can rip open the paper, and you see it's like a circlet of partially brass with a lot of corrosion on it, like yellowy, green and black looking corrosion. And then there's also large gems set into it. It looks like a headdress or a headpiece, part of it at least, like probably half of one. Similar.
Would it be a similar style to the one we saw in that Terrassus vision in Living Memory, or different?
It would be, if I had to
I'm
say,
just asking this, Sarah.
it would probably be like 89% identical to that. Yeah, very incredibly similar. You immediately get that vibe, Winslow Wallaby. You've also seen this headdress, or at least something very much like it, elsewhere.
Interesting.
Large chunks of jade set into it. And what looks like, there's almost like a piece that like looks like it might go down over the eyes, but that's like pulled up. That's also made of like brass and is kind of bent, corroded. A lot of like rubbing of sand on it has kind of like ruined the like polished exterior and finish. But that's that.
I'll have to bring these and show everybody.
Yes. Winslow Wallaby.
Yes.
As you were sitting here at this table, kind of contemplating all these things, once more a knock doth ring out from behind you, and you can like, and begin to turn around. You see standing before you another golem. A different variety of golems stands at the door. They are wearing a pure black robe over their probably 9 foot diameter, 9 foot frame. Notable was the lack of whirring and buzzing as they walked up to the door. Notable is as they lower their hand back down and put it under their cloak, it is a fluid and dynamic motion, that of a regular old person, not some sort of construct. Sitting on their neck, the little plate where a head would sit or a neck would sit, is an egg-shaped crystal. You, for a moment, think, oh, it's Yogg, but then you realize they're like 3.5 feet too tall, and the egg-shaped crystal, that tier is a bit bigger.
This is where I get murdered again.
The golem takes a step into the room and will say, Winslow Wallaby.
Hi, can I help you with something?
As I expected, a complete change in my appearance has led to you being unable to recognize me.
Who
and they
are
gesture
you?
at the dark black robe. They will say, they'll walk closer to the table that you're sitting at and place a brassy hand on it. Winslow, you can look down. There's some scratches upon it and like some extraneous screws and hardware that you personally would never really put on like one of the original golems, or none of the original golems had that. But it looks like added after the fact, right? Like a modification of sorts. This golem runs their hand along the table and they can't look at you, and there's this awkwardness again as you can't really tell where they're looking at, but it feels like they're looking down at you, and they'll say, I just came by to extend a warm thank you on behalf of, well, mostly just myself. I see that you do not by any means recognize me. They added a few things to me in the reconstruction and took quite a while to complete the order. But you might recognize me should I change my robes into some sort of starlit field, or you would recognize me should I only tell you that it is I, Ari, who stands before you again.
No, I don't believe you.
Their hand drifts off the table, and they'll fully turn their torso towards you now and will say,
I don't really think you speak like Ari used to speak.
I would blame that on poor reconstruction in that case. I was dismantled, taken apart over the course of weeks.
And it
left
was very
to rot
gruesome.
on a
I
table.
saw it. It was awful.
Then precisely you should understand the reasons for the changes in my being. They'll pull back the robe and show off like this arm. There's little bits of silver wire added to it now and like these gross like metallic screws, and they'll say, examine, look at what they have done to my body.
I'm going to look.
It's
intently.
Different hardware. It's completely different hardware. Let's say they took great liberties with the reconstruction, and truth be told, I have returned to campus 2 days past and have been looking for the other golems. These new ones created by Crow. I do not quite so enjoy looking upon them.
They're a bit strange, yeah. It's kind of my fault that they're around to begin with. It was probably not the smartest thing that I could have ever done, but I didn't think I really had much of a choice in the end of things.
Difficult.
I'm sorry if like I wasn't able to really fulfill your request to the fullest and everything. It was kind of a tumultuous time that everything was going on in, and
I have already met with the other golem, the one you named and created. They seem happy enough in their stations, as a student and no less.
yeah, they seem to be really doing well. I wish their accommodations were a little better.
I will tell you something of great confidence in this moment. As thank you, and they bend down, Winsler, a very imposing figure. I'm going off to meet with Stowe, the one which rests down in the Polisherium. I know not if I will return from that, as my form has been changed, and they might find it displeasurable. That man who dismantled me did it for some ulterior purpose other than to know how we are made. He was keen investigating, and they gesture at the tier on their head, this, and its origin.
That's a little concerning.
It seems he wants them for something beyond creating more golems.
I kind of always figured Crow was up to something behind the scenes. I just didn't know to what extent. I'll see if I can maybe keep tabs on things that are going on. Maybe something will slip and we might be able to do something about it. But I
yourself, though.
Mm-hmm. I have one small request that I might make of you, if it's okay.
They will stand there, kind of stoic and statuesque for a moment, and they will say, I suppose I do owe you a favor for having me reconstructed.
Has there been any incident in the past where an organic creature, like, I don't know, like a human, an elf, anything like that sort, has there been any incidents of an organic creature coming into contact with whatever that liquid down in the Polisherium was? Has there been any like negative effects?
A dangerous subject. They pause for a moment and will kind of like tap their fingers upon the table, and they will say, the original creator, Wilburn, Davis Wilburn, attempted such things on his own self.
Was he successful?
No. Perished very quickly afterwards.
Is there a way to possibly reverse something like that from happening?
Such as an idea has not yet been researched.
Oh, great. Something
But
else
if
to
you
do.
are successful, I would love to hear of it.
All right.
Is that all?
I think
Or may
that's
I be
all.
off?
Yeah.
Wonderful. Have there been any happenings since I have been gone from campus that I ought to know about?
Where to start? Other than the
you say where to start, and they will stand there. They'll close the little door, and they will say, "From the very beginning, please. I need to know all." And Winsler, you can regale this golem with everything you can think of that happened.
While
since.
I'm like also
Yes.
doing research on the side, it's a good thing I can multitask.
Yes, mean or elsewhere, a different day, a different time. Mir Marchand,
Huh.
could you tell me where, by chance, if you want to have this appearance of a very professional club, what room? Can you describe to me the room or where on campus the Wildcliff Warbler has its home base?
I think because we want to keep up the appearance of legitimacy, we don't have anything to hide. I think that Mira would probably go for being in the enchantment tower because it's shiny, it's big, it's nice. So I think she would have submitted the permits or whatever you have to do and had them operating off one of the floors, one of the highest floors up there, whatever they could rent out.
Absolutely. There's an old abandoned lab space that they give out to you. It has these grand arching windows and tons of light, tons of writing desks and places to sit at. There's enough space for bringing some sort of printing apparatus in here, and there's also a cupboard for storing copies going out the next day or whatever. Such all the stuff you'd need for a basic editing shop, right?
Yes.
Okay, so you're up there, probably on the 7th floor of this enchantment tower. Mira, I envision, and tell me how wrong this is if it is, you're sitting at the right behind, sitting with your back to those windows at a large desk. Probably, I don't know if you're acting as editor-in-chief, but I presume you might be.
Yeah, I like the idea that her and Syndra are co-editors-in-chief as the official title, but I think they probably have very different roles in practice.
Yes, definitely. There's a couple of reporters, of collaborators, contributors to the Warbler, working on the issue that's going to be going out tomorrow. Tell me, what possible columns or articles are in tomorrow's edition, Mira?
Ooh, that's a very good question. How far into the semester is it again? In terms of grades, breaks?
This is just after exams and grades and stuff.
Ooh, perfect. In this case, it's somebody has written an opinion ranking of top 5 places to go if you can get a break off.
Yeah.
How to tell your parents if you got really bad grades, things like that. And then there's some various news items but it's all it appears to be very legitimate, but a lot of times it's all stuff local Wildcliff student dropped his sandwich, ... You won't believe what happens next. And then it's a heartwarming story of some birds coming to eat it and just lots of BuzzFeed-esque stuff.
Okay,
some legitimate news. It varies.
Yeah. You gotta get readers,
Yeah.
Nonetheless, there's probably 3 or 4 people. You see off in the corner your wonderful contributors or column writers. There's Bowen, this blue pastel-haired elf who's working hard at something, chewing on their finger. And then off in the other corner, working near the press and with next to a first-year student, some first-year tiefling. She was in the event planning committee for a hot second, but standing next to her is this dark-skinned human Arlie. And he's mulling over things, giving her his opinion on the piece that she wrote, which is one of these fluff pieces of what department are you? What's your department? One of those
lots
dumb
of quizzes, something like that.
Yeah. Nonetheless, your workers are working hard at work. The tomorrow's edition is right in front of you with the final layout, and you're just approving things, Mira. And the door to the Warbler, crunch, smashes open. In walks your co-editor-in-chief, Syndra Sunfire, this little tiefling. Behind her is another tiefling with purple skin who looks to be eyes wide, a bit taking everything in and excited to be here kind of expression, which brings the total count of tieflings in this room to 3.
Integrity, Syndra, do you want a job?
Syndra walks across the precipice and walks up to your desk. She puts both hands, she moves the paper outside, out from your view. She puts her hands down and she's going to say, Mira Marchand, I've brought for us the best talent that I found, I think, this entire time. I would like to introduce to you. And then she turns and gestures for the person to come forward. She's this is Runa. She is in my fellow, she's in 3rd year as well. She's in my fellow class. And you see this girl walk forward, purple skin, big curly horns, some gold makeup up, freckles on her face. Mira, she's wearing a very distinctive, what you would probably call a detective's cap. And Syndra will point at her and say, this is Runa Felward. And Syndra thinks over the words for a few seconds and says, a paranormal investigator.
Oh.
Paranormal.
Runa
fascinating.
Steps forward and will go, that's right. I really got drawn. She sits down at the chair right in front of your desk and crosses her legs. And she goes, I was really drawn to Wildcliff. The education is kind of secondary. But what really brought me in is an aunt of mine went here. And in her day, she told me about all the ghosts and ghost stories that were happening on campus, disappearances of students after horrible events happen to their teammates, those kind of things. Places, people disappeared at the night, voices talking in the halls, haunts, things lurking down in the sewers, that type of thing. And
That's wild, Cliff.
I've been reading The Warbler, and I just thought it's really missing the essence of Wildcliff, which is the paranormal aspect of campus, in my opinion. Not to tell you how to do your job, of course, Miss Editor-in-Chief, but it's lacking.
No, that's... Amira taps her chin. That's a fair point. I mean, especially with the whole brain thing on campus, I'm sure people want answers. I think we could definitely take a more paranormal angle. And Mira is going to turn to Syndra and be like, so how much did you brief Runa on the deeper specifics of our news operation?
Mira, I kept it brief because we were speaking after class, but
Got it.
the door's closed.
Got it. And Mira is going to take a seat next
Yes.
to this journalist and be like, so what are your feelings on the administration?
Ooh.
Her eyes light up and she says, I know that the administration has been looking deeply into the divination tower. I've been conducting somewhat of a independent investigation. There seems to be a few Crow mercantile, non-school attendants spending ample hours beneath there studying brine, studying mayhaps artifacts that were found in those rooms. I heard through the grapevine they've been visiting people's homes, such as, I don't know if you met her, the girl that went missing. What was her name? And she looks over to Syndra, and Syndra goes, and looks at you and goes, Afrosini, the one who, and she
Yeah.
points to and then
Yeah,
Runa
she was in the
looks back
event
to you.
planning committee.
Oh, of course, absolutely. I don't trust any of the stuff that's going on under there, frankly, and the fact that it's happening at the school where I go to, I feel like something should be done about it, something should be said, and I'm told that, or I have the inkling that this is the right place to do that.
That's a very fair point. And Mira, has her, the heel of her hand on her chin and she leans forward. And I wonder, I trust Syndra, but can I get any read on whether Runa seems to be on the up and up here?
Make an insight check for me in that
I can
case.
absolutely make an insight check for you. That's a mediocre insight check. That's a 13. 9 plus 4.
This is a woman here to get the story. Whether or not
Okay.
she's here to serve those same purposes as you, she might be playing that up. That's, I think, your read with that kind of role is that's probably your gut instinct is she's probably not super on that track and she's probably just wants to do this oh, I'm a paranormal investigator. Look at my column.
Gotcha.
But she's doing the lip service.
Well, Runa, you mentioned that Crow has his people investigating objects in the divination tower. Do you know if they're there 24/7?
I mean, is there a offer for a column on the table?
Oh, yes. Let me explain what I'm sort of thinking. I'm thinking that you seem to be interested, if we can get an interview with some of those people in the paper, a fluff piece for Crow, obviously, nothing that would cause any concern. If those people were, busy being interviewed by an expert paranormal investigator, the rest of us might have a chance to take a closer look at some of those investigated items. We could switch, around who's doing what, of course, according to your preference, but how would you feel about something like that?
Well, Miss Editor-in-Chief, it sounds like exactly what I'm looking for.
Well, it sounds like you're exactly what we're looking for. And I will flash a big smile.
Of course. You can go over the details of this. Runa will leave as she does have classes. A few of your other staff members do so leave. Syndra lingers by the door and she'll look over to you and give a quick nod and then head out the door. You are the only person in here. Or was there something you wanted to say?
Oh, no.
Okay. You're the only person in here. You can kind of breathe a sigh of relief. The issue for tomorrow is finalized. You have some sort of lead here, a possible way into the divination building to look at those things, or the divination tower. A breath of relief. You can pack up your things. Class might be starting for you as well. It's probably the midday kind of lull between things. You can pack up your things and start to head out. Mira, as you lock up the room and start to walk down the stairs, you see that there's an attendant wearing like red Wildcliff robes, just nothing out of the ordinary, probably just some enchanter, heading up the stairs next to you. It's kind of narrow. They bump into you and go, oh my God, I'm so sorry.
Oh, sorry.
And leave you. You can walk.
Newspapers spill forth from my arms.
They like help clean up a couple of them and then rush off on their way. You, even though they stop, don't have a very firm memory of what their face looks like. And the more you try to focus on that, the further fuzzier their face becomes. And you might look over your back. You don't hear the footsteps anymore going up the stairs. They're kind of just gone. What you do feel as you reach the bottom of the enchantment tower and you like might put a hand in your pocket to check that the key to the Warbler room is in there. It's there, but accompanied by something else. You feel like a 2-inch diameter sphere in your pocket, smooth and cold.
May I take a closer look at that?
Yeah, absolutely. You can pull it out. Do you just want to do this in public, or are you going to peel off to the side somewhere?
I think that she kind of stands off to the side, and what she does is she like opens up her Wildcliff robes and kind of like pulls them in front of her like a vampire, and takes a look from there.
Yes, absolutely. You like hunch down and look in. What a great image! It is a 2-inch diameter crystalline ball, or as you might call it, a crystal ball. There is a note taped to it, or like glued to it, that reads in Elven, Mira, code word Cyantha.
Do I have any, this feels all Algrim-esque, but do I have any specific familiarity with this phrase?
You wouldn't have a specific familiarity with the phrase. Does it feel all Algrimy? The ink is gold. There's a gold flecks within the crystal ball itself. Code word Cyantha, and then underneath, speak in private.
Interesting.
What would you like to do?
Code word Cyantha, speak in private. Does this sphere appear to have any, like, it's obviously a crystalline ball. Does it appear to have any magical properties? Like, is this something one could do divination with? Like, I could say it to the ball. Okay, in that case, are there just, like, any spare classrooms?
Yeah, absolutely. You can, like, rush over to, like, the nearby, probably, like, the conjuration department, duck in.
Okay.
Someone gives you, like, a weird look when you walk in because, like, 2 people are in this department, and you can duck into, like, an empty lab room and, like,
yeah, I'm gonna shake it as if it's a magic 8-ball, and I'm gonna go, Cyantha?
You shake it, the like little gold specks float around as if there's fluid inside of it and like gold foil inside. You say Cyantha, and it lets out a light ding, like a beautiful note, and then the gold glows ever brighter. And it like starts to illuminate the room. You're holding it in your like hands in front of you, and then on this little 2-inch diameter orb, the face of one wizened old elf does so appear. Hair golden, eyes golden, staring at you through this orb. Her eyes peer into your very soul, Mira Marchand, and Alla Algrim on the other side says...
Sorry. Go ahead.
And Alla Algrim on the other side says, "Are you well? Are you safe? Is anyone around?
Absolutely.
Quiet down. Shush. This is very important. Step away from any doorways. Step away from any prying ears quickly."
I shuffle away from the doorway.
She seems to be like, this is the first time I think you've ever seen Alla Algrim kind of looking distressed, Mira. She looks stressed out, to put it in a way. She will say, "There's an urgent matter you must attend to for me, as steward of Whitlecliff."
Okay, tell me everything.
The girl, the woman, the traitor, is being moved tonight. I believe...
Sereneth? Oh, shit.
I believe from all sources I've heard that Crow has been outmaneuvered for once in his life. I do not know where they're bringing her. However, there has been threats to occupy the school if she is not handed over.
Oh.
We are moving this very evening to take Peters off of the council as a consequence of this.
Oh my god.
No, Grandpa.
Find where they're bringing her. I don't care if you keep her safe, but find where they're bringing her. I believe it's some place of great importance to the crown. No one working there will be officially tied in any means, but find out for me what you can.
Okay, I will.
Bring the gnome too. He's under payroll, so.
Oh, yes.
In exchange for this, because I understand this is an urgent affair, I understand this is... I apologize, Miss Marchand. I am beside myself with the ramifications of this. As a payment for job well done, once you tell me where they are taking her, that I have had a mark following your mentor in the desert for some time now, picking up trails that he has incompetently missed. If it would please you, I would move her to work alongside him to further his research, and I believe your own understanding of what lurks beneath the school in service of me, of course. Does this please you?
I'll speak to Serenep. That works.
Do not speak to her before she is moved. She cannot know this is coming,
But
or else it will give up the ruse that we know already.
I see. Thank you for letting me know.
Can you do this for me?
Yes.
I appreciate your discretion and service, Steward of Wildcliff, Mira Marchand. Good fortunes. And then the light of the crystal ball goes blink and cuts out, leaving you
Mira
in a
is
dark
immediately
room.
going to go and find Serenep.
Oh my god.
Okay. Mira Marchand, you rush out of this room and can hurry over to Serenep Cinnamon. Where would you like to be? Let's say, I'll take it into my own. I apologize in advance. We've skipped through so much time that you haven't had a chance to choose your new classes. I do so apologize for the unprecedented event. However, Serenep Cinnamon, I think it's safe to say you are likely in an evocation class at this time of day. Mira Marchand, you can rush, like running or just on the verge of running?
I don't want to give off any impression of urgency, so I am trying to. I think she is skipping because it's a very efficient way to move quickly.
Oh my
It's
god.
also whimsical. No one who's like on edge
People are
about
like,
horrible
yeah, that sounds
affairs.
like
No
Mira.
one skips.
She
That's
skips.
Mira Marchand. She skips.
La-da-da-da-da.
We get a quick cut of like
strumming to look for
Elric
her, but,
seeing
like-
you from across campus and being like, she must have having a great day. And as he skips like a T, Mira Marchand, you skip your way to the evocation department. You rush around to a couple of classrooms that you can hear professors lecturing from, and you finally find one where it is just Serenep Cinnamon and the halfling Veldon Deep Lake sitting in here being lectured by a gnomish Professor Ward. What would you like to do?
I'm going to cast message, and I'm going to be like, Serenep, get over here, Serenep.
I'm gonna look over.
Serenep, you're in the middle of class, and Professor Ward is teaching you all about the primordial being of elemental magics, how you evoke such primordial things into the material world. And then you hear this message inside your head. Yes, Miss, yes, Miss Cinderman. Is there something I can do for you?
Oh, I just.
Has something come up?
I'm not feeling that well.
No worries whatsoever. He looks down at a textbook that's opened at a lectern, and he'll go, read to page 478 for Wednesday's classes, and then come back all prepared and good in health. Have a good afternoon, young lady. I hope you have a fun afternoon being sick. And he winks at you.
Thank you. Like, Serenep has never really skipped that often, so it's like one of those things like, have fun. It's like,
Yeah.
Thank
Serenep,
you.
you can pack your things up and rush out into the hallway where Mira Marchand is waiting for you.
Hey, what's going on?
Come on. And then I think Mira is going to like pull Serenep into an empty classroom.
Yes.
Like try to cast silence with her mute
Of
flute
course.
on like the space in between
As
the
you
door
do.
and the
Yep.
room. Pull her to the back and go, Serenep, I need to speak with you about something extremely serious. They're going to take you tonight. We cannot give any indication that you know. We have, I don't know, probably 8 hours to prepare. We need to figure out what's going on and we need a plan.
Okay, okay, so I'm guessing my protection at Wildcliff is no longer
Alla said
set?
Crow was outmaneuvered. I don't know what that means. She said that you were being, quote unquote, moved tonight. She said that I couldn't tell you because it would be disastrous for probably all of Ophelion if there was any indication that, you know, Alla had knowledge of this. So whatever we do, we have to act like this is a total surprise, but we still need to have a plan. We still need to prepare. I had to give you the heads up. Shit, okay.
Okay, did you have an idea? Like, do you know specifically who's coming, or what?
I don't really know. People are going to come to school. I'm assuming people who work for Aros, I guess. This isn't much of a plan, but what if maybe all of us should be together? I mean, for some kind of study event or some kind of gathering, and then it can seem like a surprise, but we can fight back. And then if they do something, we would all be together. Or I don't really know. Maybe there's something we can do at the library or some sort of. I mean, we don't want to give an indication that you know, but I also don't want anything to happen to you because we saw it happen to Philip. And I don't know. We should get Winsler and we should get Integrity, but I wanted to come to you first for obvious reasons. And what do you think?
Okay, yeah, absolutely. Public place. Depending on, do we know what time it's happening, or
Tonight.
okay? Let's I mean, we've had, little gatherings in my room before. We could probably gather some people together, make it as impossible for me to be alone. Okay.
Yeah.
Sarah kind of looks around like,
Yeah.
do we know that they're not already on campus?
They might be, honestly.
Okay, if it's okay, I would like to stick with you for the rest of the day then.
Yes, that's fine. That's
Until we
fine.
get this done. Okay.
Okay.
Yikes.
We could fight back if they come. My only worry then is if more people come, or we could, if we know in advance, maybe you can, if they try to cast some sort of spell on you, you can, how about maybe you can do something? You can go to the library and maybe, find a spell or some kind of object that will help you. I don't know. Like, let's say they cast a spell to put you to sleep, something to resist it, but something to make it look like it works, right? If we can prepare for that, then that works, and then we have the upper hand, right?
Okay, so look into spell wards. I can go to the library and
Yeah, you absolutely could.
take a look at, I can try and throw together, and maybe I can talk to Kurt, maybe get something rush set up.
Yeah,
Rush
but
order.
discreet.
And
Discreet. So,
yeah,
is that what we want to do? Serenep, and I believe, so Serenep, you're not going to leave Mira's side. Is that correct?
I'd like to stick with her and
That's
just
fine. We can go to the
anybody as much
library
as possible.
together.
Absolutely.
Like
You can
bless.
Just pretend you know
or-
nothing.
Like
Yeah,
something
like
like
a couple
bless
of-
or one of those spells
Yeah.
that like.
There's a couple of like options if you're looking for stuff that's like trying to increase the odds. You have something like bless. If you want to look like should someone show up and try to like, I don't know, attack you or knock you out, you could go with something such as, and you know this, you guys are savvy, you're second years, you're level 12. You go with something like Feign Death, which Serenep you couldn't cast, but you could get a spell scroll of Feign Death that someone could cast upon you. Something of the sort. The world's your oyster. What kind of preparation do you think you want to try to do?
Here's a thought, because I do have polymorph.
Yeah.
Now that I know that this is happening,
Mhm.
maybe I could. Well, wait. Let me. Am I able to
You
like
could
say
change
for
into
instance,
another beast or a beast like an animal or something.
like yeah, say for instance, the thousands of birds that are just on
Yeah.
campus.
You definitely could for a couple of hours at the very least, but you
Yeah.
never know how they're gonna find you. That I
Yeah.
think should be in your mind. Is there anything from the archives that you would like to get specifically? And if you would like, you could mayhaps to add another brain to the equation. We know a young man who happens to be spending a lot of time studying in the archives, Winslow Wallaby.
Yes.
It's the
should
middle of the
probably
day.
get the team
You
together.
you had like 3 classes already this morning. Your brain's kind of numb at this point in the day. You see rushing around the archives, looking altogether worried and busy. You see your friends Mira Marchand and Serenep Cinderman in quite a frenzy, it seems, Winsler. Like at the front of the archives, pouring through a bunch of like the basic available spell scrolls that they can scribe from. Would you like to head on over and see what the hell's happening and see if you can help?
Sure, I'll go
By
over
all
and see what's
means.
going on.
You walk over to them. I believe, Mira, you can, if you would, how do you fill them in on the situation? Because you are in like a public place right now.
Howdy, how's it going?
We could message the entire conversation.
You could if you wanted, or you could speak in code words and riddles.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I feel like Mira would start out by trying to say some fucking incomprehensible shit like, fucking, the dragon catchers have landed in the nest.
That's amazing, though. That's perfectly
Dragon
sensible.
catchers are trying to steal the egg.
Winsler, Mira's saying some cryptic ass wild shit.
What?
Oh, they're gonna try to get Serenep tonight. We can't let them know that we know, but we need to find some kind of spell to make it look like it worked so that we can, get a leg up. And, well, I don't know. We thought you might have ideas. Mira's like whispering this, but she's also very like, she puts both of her hands
Yes.
like cupped to Winsler's ear. She's obviously
Yes,
whispering
yes,
about
yes.
something.
But it's like so.
Laser
it's a very
focus.
contained whisper. Yeah. Like obviously everyone knows you're sharing secrets and whispering, but no one can hear it.
They
Yeah.
might just think I'm gossiping.
I mean, I know. It's like, I know of a spell that could probably work on something. However, I don't think I'm able to cast it in any capacity. So,
What
What
one?
are you talking about?
well, Ben speaking.
Yes.
On a meta level.
No,
It's
Winsler knows this spell. Winsler is a student of
All right.
magic.
It's a spell called Sequester.
Ooh.
Stir?
But I can't exactly cast that.
God, that
Okay.
fucking spell.
That's a bit beefy.
It's a pretty beefy spell.
Okay.
Requires a lot of money.
How much money are we talking?
Like
Windsor, you can walk over
5,000 gold pieces worth of like diamond, sapphire, emerald, ruby dust.
Holy shit.
I do not. Yeah, I don't have that.
Yeah, I don't know where we're gonna
going to
get that in 8 hours.
Well, what about something to make it look like Serenep is like dead or unconscious when she isn't? I mean, if we can get a scroll for that, one of us could cast it, right?
I did have feign death at one point before it kind of got burned up. I could probably find another copy of it somewhere around here.
You could pay for a spell scroll here at the archives. That is an option for you all.
I mean, I've got very periwinkle money. I might as well get
one.
Well, of course you do. It's been like 10 weeks. You probably have like 2,500 gold pieces or something.
Just lying around.
Yeah, you can absolutely. You can walk through the shelves. You can find a scroll of feign death. You can find 2. You can find 3 if you wanted.
Well, I think for now, like I think you can cast feign death on another person, right?
Correct.
So I think what I'll do is I'll just take the spell scroll and I'll just say, hey, my old copy of this spell burned up. I need to replace it.
Absolutely. You can pay 350 gold pieces to the Ava Redding Bank of Books at the front counter, and you guys can waltz out of here with a feign death scroll tucked under Winslow's hat, so it's not conspicuous.
So, I mean, I know we're inviting people to my room tonight, and then in case it goes wrong and I get like what, I'm just trying to wrap my head around all this.
Yeah. Well, the main idea is to make them think that you're more incapacitated than you are, right? I mean, if Winslow could cast a spell to make it look like you're dead or something that could end at any time, then you would be able to, I don't know, escape on the way there or something like that. And, no indication that you knew beforehand, but also, we could get you out. And look, maybe, like, if it all goes bad, then maybe we just get caught with you, Like,
but I don't know what's gonna happen when I get taken to wherever I'm going.
We're not letting you get there. Don't worry. There's no way that's happening. Absolutely the fuck not. We saw what happened to Philip. No.
Ben, is there something?
That might actually be an interesting spell too.
Oh no!
In the event that something happens, because I think Mira can also cast this spell too.
What?
It's called Seeming.
Oh, Seeming. Yes. Mira,
Yes.
I mean, I don't think either one of you know that by chance.
We don't know it, but it is a 5th level spell.
That would be pretty expensive.
It would be pretty expensive, yeah.
That'd be like $1,000.
It's basically just making it seem like everybody looks like somebody else.
Yeah, it's like extended disguise self.
Yeah. Though it is illusory.
It is illusory. Do you want to pick that up?
Nah, we'll just go with the feign death for now.
You get the feign death one and head back to the dormitories. As the you 3 rush around trying to come up with a plan, Mira's like, we're not going to let them take you. And Windsor's like, would that spell work? Would this spell work? What about that spell? The entire time back to the archives, you guys are rushing. Mira, you're like, I don't know if you guys are like perimeter around Serenep, looking like every single student that passes by, giving them like the paranoid glance of like.
I'm kind of like walking behind a little bit, just like reading. Yeah.
I'm trying to look like we're having like a normal, friendly conversation.
All of us are skipping
a deception check.
Yeah.
All of us are skipping, arms linked together.
That is a 19 because it's a 6 plus 13.
We get another cutaway of Elric Wraithrin sipping on tea, and he sees the 3 of you walking, and they go, oh, they look like they're having such a great afternoon. Completely deceiving. But you have that paranoid feeling about you guys. Elsewhere on campus, which is to say at the dormitories, Integrity I Idleberry, you are walking back to your dorm, a bundle of goods under your arm, as it is the 10th week. And you have achieved your material goods. We have a flashback to 5 minutes ago when you left Kurt and Winslow's dormitory. It just Kurt, he had like sleep in his eyes, your studded armor laying on the table, these cool brass bracers that he fitted around your wrists, and like a final like lead sheath for your jade dagger. Kurt leans back in his chair and looks at you, the both of you, exhausted and tired after like a couple hours of work, and he'll say, so how do they feel? Are they like, does it feel protection-y? Do they feel good? Like you could block a arrow with your wrist?
Here, try it. And I'm going
he
to...
He picks up a screwdriver and chucks it at your head.
And I try to avoid it with my bracers.
You try to avoid it. Does a 14 hit you?
No, it does not.
Integrity. What does it look like as you deflect a Phillips head screwdriver with your bracer of protection, with your bracers?
Integrity just parries it to the side, and the screwdriver goes into like the picture frame that Kurt keeps of his family.
Oh my god!
Like stabs his mother in the chest, and he looks over.
Holy shit!
And he like gets up and immediately starts to like mend it. You can quiet and eyes open, like grab all your stuff and run. He looks at you and goes,
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to.
Just leave. It's okay. It's fine. And you can grab all your junk and leave.
Your
and then
family has been
we cut back
marked for
to you
death.
5 minutes in the future. Integrity Atterbury, you have an afternoon free. You had one class this morning, and now you're scot-free for the rest of the day. Stress-free, living it up. Integrity Atterbury.
Yes.
You could make arrangements. This is, by the way, happening while the rest of them are running across campus and figuring out some sort of conspiracy about kidnapping Serenep. In that hour that they spend doing that, Integrity Idleberry, you can invite the gals over to to your room. You can bring some snacks out, and you can get to business, as I know you've wanted to get to business this entire time doing, which is to say,
I wanted to have a day sleepover with a couple of my friends, like my other friends, to go over the Lem book.
of course, we spend you invite Sylvie, who is your roommate, who is already there. You invite Lucia, who is not your roommate and isn't always there. The three of you can have like some snacks, can have some drinks. You start going over this Lem book. The decoding of it happens. Sylvie, using her clerical, religious knowledge, deciphers this is kind of a bunch of nonsense and not really religious. Lucia, using her
Basic bitch knowledge.
There's a word, minor league scoundrelly kind of brain. Not quite so rogue-like as yours, but definitely on the scoundrel spectrum. She's street smart-ish. The two of you, Integrity Atterbury, can deduce, damn, we got to pull this book apart. We got to unbind it. Let's put these pages up on the wall as if it's like a murder mystery. Let's get it going. At this point, it's been 45 minutes. You've got the pages up on the wall. The snacks are gone through. Your guys kind of running into a brick wall at this point. Integrity Atterbury, can you make investigation check for me?
Investigation. How does 14 sound?
14's not amazing. I'm going to be honest with you. You look at this thing, it is a mess of words, a maze of linguistics all assembled together. You hear Sylvie sitting on the bed, gold scales gleaming. She goes, I really think I'm too stupid for this one.
I don't understand anything. And Integrity's just like smashing the book on her face.
Yes. Lucia's just lying on like at the foot of your bed and is like, this sucks. I don't know why I agreed to come. I don't like riddles. I don't like puzzles. This sucks. And then a knock at the door. 3 knocks, anxious and filled with worry, come at the door. Integrity, you can look over, not expecting any other guests. You can stand up, walk over to the door, and open it to see Mira, what do you look like? What's going on with Mira's facial expression here as Integrity opens the door for you?
A smile that is like so wide and aggressively capital and
crazed?
normal that it's like Integrity, remember when you broke the pot in Serenep's room yesterday? Well, you really need to come clean it up.
I come
clean it
I
up,
totally
okay,
broke
Integrity?
a pot. I don't remember breaking a pot. But was I just unconscious and I broke a pot?
Sylvie looks over the door and she goes, Mira, come in here, quick.
We're kind of fine. Okay, what's
We're
up?
in the middle of something. Come in.
Okay.
I don't know how much you'll help, but like you're on the same level as the rest of us. And then she points at the wall. You can see there's like 50 pages of a book all ripped out of the binding and pasted up against the wall.
Ooh,
it is
I like riddles.
Mess of words, Windsor, you can wander into.
Sure.
Sylvie will give you the laydown. This is the book Integrity had in her stuff after you guys got back from Troil. She wanted us to like decode everything, but... And then Lucia from on the floor goes, but it's impossible. It's not a riddle. It's just a book of nonsense.
The 3 of us are too stupid to solve it.
What language is it in?
It's in common.
It's just in common. Okay, I'll take a very brief look at it. Is there anything...
Can you make an investigation check?
Anything intuitive for me? Yeah, sure. That is a 15, because that's an 11 plus 4. So not great either.
God.
Mira, you run into a brick wall
Yeah.
here. It's a bunch of words on the wall, and it doesn't really mean anything. Windsor Wallaby.
Maybe ask Delmas? I don't know.
Winsler.
I'll
also
crack
in the hall.
my fingers and have
The
a
door
gander.
opens a little and Winsler waddles into the room. Everyone like sits up and like looks and they're like, you hear Lucia whisper over to Sylvie and go, he was like first in the class. He was smart, right? He's not on our level. Winsler Wallaby make an investigation check. Staring up, you stand in the hallway completely alone.
I'm going into the room. I'm following everyone inside.
Okay, you stand in the doorway. Winsler Wallaby, you take a look, you peruse.
Investigation. Non-natural 20.
Non-natural 20. Winsler, it's elementary, truly. You look at it for a couple of seconds. It's like almost highlighted at this point. There's like a very slow concentric spiral. The way the pages are arranged, if you were to take ink or your finger, probably ink on your finger and like mark a little spiral that goes concentric in like twice, it would hit every single time the word lem is referenced in the entire book. Ooh. Would you like to do such a thing? It's easy. There's a very clear pattern here.
I will
point
do
it out
that
to everyone. Everyone's like, what's going on, Mira? You're like, I don't know. Maybe ask Delnus. Winsler walks in. He looks at it for 2 seconds, walks over to Sylvie's like desk, unstoppers a bottle of ink, dips his little pinky finger into it. Everyone looks. Bated breaths. Winsler goes whoosh, and draws a little spiral, connects the dots. All of you see it, and you're like, integrity. You're like, oh, how did I not see that? The spiral concludes. Winsler steps back, maybe examining if there's a secondary puzzle associated with the spiral, and then all of you are bathed in a bright blue glow as that ink begins to glow in a magical way.
Ah, my eyes!
Winsler, what did you do?
As it's sitting on the wall, it's almost like it makes a extra dimensional cupboard as the two sides swing open, and inside it looks like there's a cubby magically imposed on the wall. Integrated Adderberry, you can walk up to this. Inside you see a blue nine-tailed stuffed squirrel sleeping on her side, and around her tummy is a little note attached with a red ribbon. She looks well-groomed and well-manicured and is just altogether sleeping, uncared for the world, as you see Ida Idleberry within.
Oh my god, that's where Ida's been this whole
That's where she's
time?
been the whole time.
Damn.
Integrity.
You've been stuck in a book. I'm going to grab.
Her eye blinks open and she looks at you. Well, she has button eyes, so they kind of don't close. But button eyes look over at you. Tails fluff in the air. You run to her. She jumps to you in your arms. You embrace. Soft and squishy and plush as you ever remember. Integrity.
Oh.
You all share a tender moment. What do you say to her?
Don't ever run away from me like that ever again. But also, you really couldn't have just gone into my bag? Did you had us solve a puzzle?
Sylvie and Lucia, to be clear, look completely dissatisfied. Lucia, for one, and says, that's it? That's what we did all that work for? I worked that hard for nothing? And Sylvie's like, welcome back, Ida. And like with an expression of, please don't eat my stuff and chew my stuff. Integrity Adderberry, you hold up your little squirrel. Around her little tummy is a red ribbon with a note. Would you like to read that?
Yes,
It is
please.
very tightly wound. You pick it up very quickly. I swear this is relevant. Aye, this shall find you well. I took care of little Ida in your absence. Our meeting was perhaps brief, but of very good luck in my eyes. Your disappearance as a intern has left a wake of questions here in town. If you find anything on Crow or Crow Mercantile, please write as quickly as you can to Spire Absolus.
Oh.
Burn after reading.
Oh.
Does it indicate who wrote it?
No, it does not.
Fire.
You read it to the room.
Fire!
And then it burns in her hands. Mira, you maybe lean in over her shoulder to read what it says. You see Crow, and then it goes up in fire.
Oh, shoot.
Wait, it actually burned?
Yes, it actually burns.
Okay, perfect. I thought I needed to look for fire.
No.
So-
it burns. Burn after reading.
so-
Nonetheless,
Was that it for the puzzle?
Yes.
There's just a weird cubby here?
the cubby is still hanging open, yes.
So I broke a pot. I have to clean it.
Oh, yes.
Oh, yeah.
In Staring Up Storm. Broken pot.
Yes.
Gotta clean.
You look to Sylvia and Lucia. They look at you with kind of confusion. Do you say anything, Integrity?
I broke a pot. I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to break a pot.
It's okay. I just need your help to clean it up.
You don't need to apologize to us. Just go fix it, as Sylvie says to you. And the four of you can whoosh, rush out of here, presumably off to Sereneth's dormitory.
When did I break a pot? I don't remember that.
Oh, you didn't. It was a lie.
Come on, we'll get to the room. Let's get to the room first.
Mira, that was a lie. I lied to you.
No.
And you rush to Sereneth's dorm. Sereneth, you put the key into the lock, and it goes and it does not open.
Is that normal?
I'm gonna try again. Maybe I did
The
it
lock-
weird.
You do it again. Maybe the lock's funky. Does not open.
Okay, I am locked out of my dorm room.
Okay, let's do
Wait,
this
could
somewhere
I-
else then.
Wait. Could I Misty Step into a room? Does that work?
I believe you have to
You have to see
to
it.
Misty Step. Yes.
Dang it, you're right.
Unfortunately.
Do not worry.
I wouldn't want to
You-
be in that room anyways. Like, I don't trust that room. It might have something that listens in on us.
Yeah, that's a fair point. Let's.
Yeah.
Okay,
As you're all in the hallway, where to
other new plan, the chapel?
Chapel?
Yeah, chapel.
Yeah.
Chapel.
Let's go.
You all rush out. Integrity, you're still like, what are we doing? What is
Broke
happening?
apart in the chapel. Let's go.
You broke a pot in a chapel now, Integrity. You're kind of like coming up as a straggler, like, oh, what did I do? You all walk into this ancient stone building. It's cold and as is necessary or regular in this building, and you find yourselves alone all together. You close those heavy wooden doors behind you and are in private.
Mira, could you? I kind of gesture to the door because I don't know how you do the spell, but
I can only do it. I can't do it again because I already sort of did it.
oh,
but
okay, that's fine. I'm gonna look over to Integrity and say, okay,
Yeah.
so remember those wanted posters that were in town? They're coming.
Yes, because you're a traitor.
Yes. Yes.
According to them.
So they're coming tonight, apparently.
Oh.
So yeah, and I'm not supposed to know about it, but
You know.
so we're
Are we gonna
we're
fight or are we
trying to
gonna run
figure-
away?
The plan is we're gonna have as many people that we recognize at this meetup to basically, because it's supposed to, I don't know if it's happening multiple times. It's happening tonight. That's all we know. So we're gonna do that. We have some plans in case something happens, but we needed the team to know.
yeah, we were thinking if we made them think they killed her, and me or Windsor cast a spell that makes it seem like that happens, they're not going to be prepared for, Sereneth to break out or anything like that. The point is to make them think that it worked, to make sure that she does not get where they want to take her.
Okay, so from what I'm understanding, we're going to hold like a meeting, a party with many people, and pretend that Sereneth is dead.
When they come.
Yeah, not that I'm going to be dead at a party
No.
that we're holding.
No, just whatever they do to try to, get her where they're going. I'm assuming it'll be, I don't really know. The way Olive made it sound was maybe soldiers or something like that. Make them think that they killed her. And then they would probably still want to take her to the capital, but they'll think she's dead and she's not. And then we can break out and we'll get the information about what's supposed to be happening. It won't seem like she knew, and we can get a leg up, and I don't know.
Yeah. I imagine you guys like sitting in the pews, maybe like sitting on the back of them, cross-legged, just like kind of like sprawled out on the front here. Maybe someone sits on the altar and just kind of having this conversation across the chapel. Is there any preparations you guys need to do, or any like final thoughts on that you need to rush out? Like Integrity, do you have anything to say about it all?
I'm trying to think, because I don't imagine during this time I've really been wearing a lot of the like my jewelry, that kind of stuff. But a thought might be maybe if one of you guys because I was thinking about this while we were walking back from the archives. Do any of you guys have? Well, actually, I take off the necklace that I have with the eyeballs on it.
Yes, the scrying necklace.
Yeah, because and I kind of hold it out to Mira.
Okay.
And I say,
take it.
I used this a couple of times now, some successful, some not, but you know me pretty well, so I'm hoping that this will at least, when everything happens, when I'm...
In case it goes bad.
Has it
case
been
it
enough
goes
time at this
bad.
magical school, Luke, that I have a general idea of how scrying works?
Yes, absolutely.
Integrity, do you mind with your I was thinking maybe if we get a lock of your hair, then, to see you.
Make it easier. Yeah. Integrity. Would you like to cut off a lock of Serenup's hair?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I hope you don't mind me using my dagger to cut your hair, Serenup.
And then you grab her and go whoosh.
I rolls a nat 20, cuts out Serenup's heart.
Oh shit! I take like an elastic. I tie because my hair has grown out a little bit.
Yeah,
tie
absolutely.
it up and just chop.
Impromptu
from this.
haircut. You sit down in the pew. Integrity stands behind you. He's like, "How's your day going?" And they go whoosh, and cut the hair off. I can hand like a little sprig of hair over to you, Mira, that you can like put in a pocket, save for later.
So worst case scenario is we might go to Arrows. Is that correct?
Well, we don't have an idea of where exactly I'm going. I could be going back to the
Arrows.
I could be going back to Arrows.
Yeah. As Mira was told, though, they believe they're taking them. And Mira, you know this information. You can relate to the others. But there's a location that Al-Algrim believes they're going to be taking her that is unknown to her. That button is probably very important, and she wants to know about. I don't know if you relay that information.
Yeah, I think I would.
By all means. So you're possibly dealing with a unknown location situation.
Okay. Well, at least we have this. So
absolutely.
Yeah.
Party?
Yeah.
Party.
Okay.
Party.
You guys take it away. Narrate for me how this evening unfolds. Please, feel free to go ahead and narrate, everyone.
I should also mention that feign death lasts for an hour.
Yes.
So
it'd be long enough for them to probably take me.
But not
through
so long that
portal
Serenep
or
couldn't,
something?
wake up from the jail cart and start slitting throats when they least expect it.
true, I guess.
Oh, baby, Chain of Lightning's gonna become handy in this one.
Yeah.
Please, for my sake and the audience's sake, narrate how this evening proceeds. You're in charge right now, guys.
I think we hold it in the main room of the chapel. Why not? Because I can't go in my room. But we're gonna pretend like nothing's wrong.
Sure. Of course, big party at the chapel.
We move
Church
the
party.
pews
Church
to the
lock-in.
side.
Yeah. Little dance floor.
Grab some snacks from the
Kitchen downstairs.
Yeah.
the kitchen downstairs. Like set it up in the altar right in front. Mira plays some music for us.
It fills the hall.
Yeah, it's
This
a little
place is built
shindig.
for acoustics. Yeah, just a shindig, not a potluck.
Just a shindig.
Potlucks are not allowed on school grounds anymore.
How many people are you looking to invite here? How many people
I feel
are we
like
getting
too
here?
many would be suspicious that we know something's going on. I think Mira would ask Delnus to come, very brief, hey, something's going down, just act natural.
I think Sereneth wouldn't invite Philip for
Yeah, that's smart.
Not.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
fair.
Yeah, I'm we can't tell him just because
General,
I love the guy. Something's happening with him. We don't want him. Yeah.
Second years, some Warbler folks,
Yes.
swim club,
Yeah.
just these general things. Maybe some people from your classes. The evening proceeds. There's some snacks. There's a really weird aura about energy about the entire thing. Just this weird impromptu, the four of you being on edge. Some of you can kind of hide it a bit, but being on edge. And there's just this backbone to the entire thing.
I would also, I guess, as preparation, would it be possible for me to ask the homunculus? I know the homunculus.
Yeah, homunculuses can do whatever you want it to do.
It can do whatever. Okay.
Yeah.
I would just like them to hang out in the where the entryway of stuff would be, where I think if a group of people are going to come in and start taking
The concourse where people from on campus often come from.
Yes. I would like the homunculus to sort of stealthily look
Of course.
for anything weird happening, just to give us at least
A
a
bit of a
short
heads up.
warning
Homunculus
that
on
things
patrol.
are yes,
Of course.
because the
Yeah, that's
birds won't fucking
perfectly-
listen to me.
No, they won't. They're not.
There's
under
just
your
to
control.
scream at you.
So, a general small crowd appears. A lot of second years, not Philip and not Karina, but a bunch of the others,
course.
not Angelica.
What? She's
show
not
up.
coming?
Why is she not
Similar
there?
to Serenup's birthday. It's like a rehash.
Damn.
Bunch of the most of the Warbler folks show up. Mira, at your invitation. Delnus is here. She's sitting at a pew in one of the corners and is on kind of high key alert after the warning message you had sent. Winslow, some folks that you have classes with show up, a weird 7th year conjuration student that you've never spoken to. He just shows up at the door and has this sullen bone like skin and doesn't speak to anyone, and everyone kind of avoids him. He leaves after an hour. You don't even get his name.
Strange.
You tried once.
The night proceeds. later and later and later. 8 p.m. becomes 9 p.m. 9 p.m. comes 10 p.m. People begin to filter out a little bit.
Yeah, I like the montage of like by the end it's like a few people and then it's just like
Exactly.
us sitting in the pews
Yes.
like waiting.
Yeah.
This hour of midnight approaches and passes just like that. Integrity Idleberry, a little homunculus, flies in through an open window at the peak of the chapel, flies through a like open stained glass window, flies over to you and like lands on your shoulder and grabs your hair and like throttles it a little bit, and then they jump on the ground and like march forwards and pantomime holding a spear, and then we'll like look back up to you.
Oh my god, they're late for the appointment.
Is it time to do the thing?
Will it hurt?
You hear
I mean, I've done it. It doesn't really hurt.
You hear a loud clunk, 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 clunk at the front of the chapel.
We have to act surprised. We have to act surprised.
And you hear someone say, Serenap, are you in there?
Do I recognize? That sounds like panic.
Yeah.
Do I recognize that?
Sounds like
voice?
a panicked boy.
Do
that
I do it
you
now? What do
know
I
and
do?
Oh, we have to wait till they
it's
attack because then they'll think that they killed her.
Cinnamon.
Okay, I'll go in. I'll go into the
You
door.
hear Philip on the other side of the door yelling out for you.
Oh shit!
in there?
I will ready an action though in the event
Okay,
that
what do
like
you wanna
any
ready?
danger comes to Sereneth, immediate she will die.
Okay, you guys. I'll.
What are you? Yeah, what? Mira? Winslow, you're hiding behind a pew as if it's cover. Spell at the ready in your hand. Mira, what are you doing?
Mira like has her hand on her lyre. She's not readying an action because she's trying to look like she doesn't expect this. So she's trying to like sit casually, but I think that her hand is like has this like vice grip on the lyre.
Yes, like ready to pull it into position.
Yeah.
Integrity Idleberry.
Is there like an overhead area here?
There's some rafters, yes. They're a
But
bit
then that's like
precarious.
odd. Like, why would
Yes.
integrity just be in a rafters?
Well, if you were up there, I don't think anyone would give a second glance up, frankly. It's that high, right? Like, it's 30 feet up in the air.
Okay,
Like, you could drop on someone easily.
okay. I think I just like would want to be able to hide, like in case
Yes,
anything happens.
absolutely. There are columns that go down, and you could just hide behind one of those if that's more low-key. You'd be
Okay.
very close to the doorway in that case.
Okay, I think I'll just I'll do that instead.
Okay.
Because like I could
Can you
just
make
be,
a stealth
like,
check for me?
chilling there. Yeah.
Dun, dun,
That
dun.
is 27.
27, you hide behind and, like, hold your breath as staring up to you. Calm yourself and walk carefully towards the front doors. You hear that knocking continue, and you hear
I
Philip.
think with how panicked. Oh, sorry.
Go ahead.
I think with how panicked he sounds, there's a moment that Serenith kind of forgets what's about to happen because she just hears Philip
Yeah.
panicking. She's like, she opens the door like, "What's wrong? What happened?"
He looks at you. Yeah, yellow eyes, this gaunt face, and a much more emotional face than the other night, or than on your birthday all those weeks ago, Serenap, or even as you've seen him since then. He has this like expression of like warmth and happiness and like just like relief, and he'll like grab you by the sides of your face, and his hands are like shaking, and he'll say, "Oh my God, I found you before they did. And he'll like hold you and like take his hands away from your head and like grab your hands, and he'll say, "They're speaking with Crow right now. I got wind of it. We need to leave right now before something horrible happens to you." Serenap, please.
This is not exactly what we planned for. I will.
You can feel his hands shaking as he holds yours.
Okay. Who's here? Like, who's talking to Crow? What happened?
There's soldiers. Peters is on campus. He brought soldiers with him. They're going to take you. They're going to take you back to the capital.
Kill Peters. Kill Peters.
Please.
Fuck Peters.
I was prepared for this, Serenap. Please.
Why did you act the way you did when we saw each other again?
He pulls his hands away from you and like grips his head and like shakes it very violently, and he like pulls them away and says, please don't ask me that right now. Please, not right now. Don't ask me that. Just please, if you have any love left over for me, please come with me and trust me. I don't want to leave you behind again.
I look back to Mira.
Yeah.
Because this is not what we were expecting, and it's really hurting my
Is
heart
there
right
any
now.
way I'm sitting here? Is there any way I can discern the vibes coming off of Philip? Does this feel
You can
like
make
a
an insight check.
performance? Yeah. Okay.
I mean, we
insight check.
can kind
Yeah.
of tell it is a performance.
That is pretty
given
good.
the
That is a
information.
19 plus 4. That's a 23.
This man has wind in his head.
The last bit, if you have any love left for me, then come with me. does feel a bit performative.
Yeah.
But you also see how panicked he is, and it's a complete 180 of how he was acting birthday night. He's filled with emotions. He has that, like, he shakes his head and is like, please don't ask me that right now. That fits in line with what you were seeing. It could go either way.
Yeah, I think Mira is going to like kind of gesture to Serenep at like the necklace around her neck as a way of being like, we will see if something happens. I got you. And I'll give her like a little nod.
Okay.
Okay. I'm going to, because he's kind of like holding, like, I'm going to take his hand and be like, okay, I'll go with you.
A very weak smile and his like eyebrows. He goes, thank you so much. We need to go right now. There's preparations ready. Please follow me. And he like salutes the like you, Mira, and like Winsler, who he can see, and Integrity, who he can't. And he pulls Sarah up. Then you see them run off onto campus, away and away from you, leaving the three of you at the old chapel all alone.
I wonder if there is a way we can stealthily follow here. Like a few paces back,
thinking.
But like if
Is that what you
Mira cast locate person here, she wouldn't have to be like close enough to actually watch Serenep, but like always know where she is.
Absolutely. Is that what you like to do?
Yes.
Wait a minute and then cast the spell?
Yes.
Okay. And then you can like grab Integrity by the shoulder and just like point her in the direction and general where she is, and the three of you can rush off after. Winsler, are you gonna ready anything as well? Now that the feigned death is out of the equation, kind of.
I'll stuff it in the back, and if I need to, I'll probably prepare that just in in any case.
Do you want to be like
now,
looking out and head on a swivel because Mira is like very concentrated on the spell, Integrity's very concentrating on navigating and remaining quiet.
Keep an eye out.
Can you make for me a perception check in that case, Winsler?
It's going to suck. It's a 16.
16.
Have to do. Actually, no, it's a 17. I'll have
17. Okay, that's enough to give you a little bit. You look to the alchemy building, where you know Crow's office to be, and you do see like lights, and you do see people out front of it in like plate armor with spears. That is a true fact, and you guys can like rush off to like the left side of like the path and down behind a building before like the guards even like they just look out and see students. They don't really know anything, but the three of you continue rushing on. Serenep Cinderman, Philip is grabbing your hand. He's panting, trying to run. He looks behind you and says, I haven't run like this in so long. I'm going to collapse here soon. Cracking a joke. And he's just leading you. He brings you to a large Gothic building you would recognize as the Hall of Voyages, home to many a teleportation circle. He very quickly pushes the door open, pulls you inside, looks both ways, and will slam the door behind him. You then see he pulls from his pockets like shackles that you would put onto someone's like wrists, and he wraps it around like the two handles and like chains it up. And he goes, and he'll look at you and he goes, I told you I had this prepared from the moment I stepped foot on campus. And he puts a hand on your face and goes, I was waiting for them to try something like this. Okay, downstairs, come with me. And he runs over to the cupboard where you know the stairway to his office is. Sarah, during this entire time, do you say anything to him?
She thinks if she talks too much, it's going to give away the fact that she does not trust Philip right now.
That makes sense.
So she's just
like,
pretending to be like kind of lost and panicky and be like, oh, thank goodness you're here to help me.
Perfect.
And that kind of stuff.
He rushes down the stairs and like stumbles as he runs down this steep staircase and enters into like this area, this landing, this square open air room where there used to be like that teleportation apparatus to get to Isithil or other planes. Standing there in the middle of the room, inside like a red or an orange chalk circle, Serenep, what seems to be a very temporary teleportation circle, you see a darkly dressed person. They have long, like silky black hair that goes down to like probably their mid-back. They have like this light brown skin, like very manicured eyebrows, as if they care about that stuff. They have like a big hooked nose and then like a big piercing in like one of the nostrils. They have like, they're just wearing like black leathers and like a black cloak. Over their left eye is an eye patch that has like a threaded X over it, and their uncovered eye is like this bright orange color. In their hand is that like an orange piece of chalk that they obviously made this teleportation circle with, and they just they're like watching a timepiece on their wrist. And as they see Philip stumble down the stairs, they'll say, "Took you long enough. Anyone?" And they'll look over to you, Serenep. and their mouth kind of drops open a second and will say, "Good evening. The two of you been followed, or are you all good?" And Philip looks to you and he says, "No, we're all good. We're ready to go. Let's get out of here." And he steps into the circle and extends a hand out to you, Sereneth, to join him inside of it. And he goes, "This is the way out. Please come with me."
Sereneth just remembers that Mira has this scrying necklace, takes a deep breath, and takes his hand, steps into the circle.
You step into the circle. This long-haired, hook-nosed kind of person will whistle a quick note, and they'll say, "Works easy as that," and then snap their fingers. You see the chalk glow with a single bright flash, and you for a second think, "Oh my god, we're on fire," just because of the orange glow and the heat. And then you drop into water beneath you, and you are swimming and struggling. The air, it is salty, and it is cold, and it is jarring. And then there are hands grabbing you and pulling you into a boat nearby. Philip also is pulled very quickly after you. Sereneth Cinderin, you're catching your breath. You're covered in this cold, freezing water. The wind is blowing hard, and there's clouds out in the sky. You can see brilliant stars up above. These two people who just spirited you away from campus get pulled into the boat next to you. There seems to be about 4. They look like kind of sailor-like folk, Sereneth, and they all look at you with kind of a bit of amazement and will nod towards you. And Philip will sit next to you on one of the benches of this rowboat and put a hand on your lap and will say, "It's going to be safe. We just need to stay here for, I don't know, a couple weeks, forever. We'll see how it plays out." And Sereneth, you can turn and look around yourself again, so discombobulated after that immediate teleportation, and you can see probably a kilometer away from where this little rowboat is, there's what looks like very tropical island. There is a small dock and something, or a small town set up on probably the closest side to you. There's no real big ships in there, but some small, what looks like trading caravans. And the most poignant or most significant kind of feature that you can suss out from looking at it as these sailors begin to very slowly row you all into harbor, and that person with the hooked nose and the eye patch, it just starts whistling up a tune as if they are happy as a clam. What you pick out is this massive, probably 100-foot tall stone lighthouse where this red light is just rotating and flashing as you are brought towards this island. On Wildcliff campus, you all run up to the doors of the Hall of Voyages. They are barred. You can hear chains rattling on the other side. Mira Marchand, locate object, turns off just like that. She's gone.
Okay, they teleported. I can use the necklace to find out where. I don't know if we want to do that immediately or later, but either way, it sounds like she's with Philip.
Think she'll be okay?
Oh, fuck, I hope so.
We should probably give it time because right now they might be traveling still. I don't know where their final destination is.
Yeah, what if Philip? You know.
Yeah, I don't even know if I really trust Philip right now. I don't know what's going on with him. He wouldn't say anything.
Maybe we get back to one of our dorms and then take a look with the,
That might be a good idea.
You guys don't want to...
fine with that.
You're just going to not try to get into the Hall of Voyages? Is that clear?
Well, yeah, we're not trying to escape to... We don't have we want to figure out where she is, and then we can figure out how to go there.
Sounds good. The three of you rush back to Mira's dormitory, which should, at this hour of the night, hopefully be empty, aside from a certain unconscious young woman. And
Lena's sleeping somewhere else lately.
We will zoom out on the three of you, and consequently Sereneth Cinderman and her tropical island destination as well.
Spooky.
And that's where we'll end our episode of Trials and Trebuchets. Sarah, could you give us an outro, please?
Absolutely. Hopefully you enjoyed this tense episode of Trials and Trebuchets. If you did, it would mean so much if you were to leave us a review or a rating on Apple Podcasts or whatever podcatcher app you use. Doesn't really make a difference. We love them all regardless. If you would like to see teasers, fan art, maps, and other exclusive content, you can check us out on Instagram at Trials and Trebs. We also have a Discord server where you can chat with us, other listeners, share fan works, be part of a really cool community. You can actually find the link to that in our episode descriptions. For those of you who want to be a little bit extra generous, there are 2 ways for you to do that. The first is our Patreon, which allows you to, for example, see DM notes, listen to conversations and catapults, episodes early, bloopers, and in some cases even make a Patreon character.
Yes!
Like...
Yes. I closed my notebook, but thank you, Ivy, for Runa Fellward, our wonderful paranormal investigator.
Awesome.
Yes, love that. Thank you. And finally, we have merch. And you can find that at trebmerch.com.
Trebmerch.com.
We've got shirts, we've got stickers. New things are added periodically, so if you already know about trebmerch.com, it's not a bad time to check it out again. All right, thank you so much for listening. Luke, you guys had something to say?
Yeah, if you're binging this, then I don't know how you do this, Sarah. If you're binging this, then the new episode will be in 3, 2, 1.
What?
Whoa!